the South Coastal Hockey League.
Here come the Rangers trying to make something happen. Bobby Donahoe comes in, shot score.
Oh, what a beautiful shot.
The South Shore's premier Masters Hockey League.
Scott Kelly coming up the near side, top of the circle. Goal!
Featuring the legends.
Mike Simon go off to the net. Simon, oh, what a save by Rick Kelly. Net Brinkman gets a break, goes to the net and scores. Jared Kawak, Freda, oh, Mike! Will pick it up for the Canadians, 5:20 to go. Harnish in front, nice maneuver. Martin scored! For second after tonight is Jim Stone. What a save! Across Anthony, the shot. Oh, Jeff Holstein.
Get ready for South Coastal Hockey, the game of the week. Two teams will battle it out for a chance to hold the South Coastal Cup. Game on!
It's South Coastal Hockey This Week, the pregame show.
Let's join the South Coastal Hockey broadcast team and their guests for some insight into what's happening this week in the South Shore's premier Masters Hockey League.
It's South Coastal This Week, the pregame show.
Brought to you by Fallon Ambulance. We're driven to care.
Now let's join the South Coastal Hockey broadcast team.
Okay, guys, what's up?
We get ready to really rock and roll as far as this 2012 fall season goes in the South Coastal Hockey League, and what better way to get going with the defending Legends Division champion Whalers as they take on the high-flying Saints. With Bob Hannon, director John Grabowski, and Rick Kelly, I'm Mark Ducharme. Welcome to South Coastal Hockey League action.
This broadcast of the South Coastal Hockey Game of the Week is brought to you in part by underwriting from Inkstone Printing, Commercial Printers of Brockton, Hospitality Mutual Insurance of Westboro, Fallon Ambulance, Rockland Athletic Supplies, Dr. John Parker of the Parker Chiropractic Offices in Hanover, Panera Bread, the Sunshine Pool Company of Pembroke, Frano & Frano, CPAs of Braintree,
the new Schick Hydro, for your skin.
That Bloomin' Place, Route 53, Pembroke, by Holly Tree Dental in Hanover, and by Stephen Lee Jewelers of Quincy Square.
Get ready for South Coastal Hockey, the game of the week.
Whalers struggled. Danny Nason makes some good saves. Then all of a sudden, at two quick goals in that game against the Sharks, Steve Kincannon and Billy McMahon within seconds of each other pull out a 2-2 tie. Danny Nason, when he is on, maybe in this division there's nobody better.
Well, just quietly, one of the best goaltenders in this league. I mean, he's not flashy. You know, doesn't make the big highlight reel, saves every time he stops the puck. But boy, he is just a yeoman in between those pipes. He does a great job keeping his team in it, and that's what the Whalers do. You know, you keep these guys in the game, and typically we've said it before 1,000 times. These guys, you keep these guys in the game in the third period, something's going to happen. You know, they always just sneak up on you, and Danny's there, in the net doing what he's supposed to do the whole game, doing exactly what these guys need, and keeping them within the hunt. And certainly a lot of times these guys pull it out for him.
An example was last year's championship game between the two. 46 saves for Danny Nason, and he made some saves in the early part of that game against the Saints that were absolutely, to take the term, sick. And it was so frustrating because the Saints put the pressure on. They felt like, oh, all right, here we go. And then all of a sudden, bam, it's 3-0 Whalers, and it's because Danny Nason stood on his head for that little stretch of time. And as you said, the Saints are outplaying him, but the Whalers sat there, sniped, and got the goals. There's Eddie Norton and the Saints. As we've had a shot from Steve Kincannon, that is it as far as this one goes. Flipped in, Frank Elwood shoots it wide. The funny thing is, with these two teams, the Saints, they do it with explosive offensive scoring. I mean, last year, they had 7 different people get multiple goals in the 7 games against the Whalers. I mean, that's pretty good. And doing notes like that for the game, that's rare. Charles Ryan comes in. He was one of those people. Rolls it in past Danny Nason as Chuck Morrison will try to break out of the zone. And the pass a little too far ahead as it goes down. As Jim Toner will track it down, trying to knock it away from Jeff Nelson. By the way, our officials are Billy Hinchy and Dave Converse. As Toner and Morrison winning the battle. Keys got an opportunity in front, just had to skip up into his pads as it went over his stick. Coming back the other way, and Danny Nason prevents an opportunity for Mike Ryan. There's the person that the Whalers have to be pretty conscious about.
I think the Whale might be being called for too many men on the ice right now, man.
Oh,
Too many men on the ice, White. Too many men
nice
on the
call.
ice, White.
2:36 into the game. We got a power play coming up. 2 Legends games already played, by the way. Sharks beat the Toros 4-2. Tim Cruz, Dana Dolan, Bainey, a goal and an assist each. Stingers in a shootout beat the Crusaders 3-2. The game that is eye-popping as far as tonight goes. Bruins 7, Maple Leafs 3. John Zimmer 4 goals and an assist. Mike Martin 2 goals and 2 assists. They're back.
And I remember last year, both of them started slow. I mean, the Bruins were struggling offensively first part of the year, and I know we mentioned a lot because the season before, Zimmer had really showed up on that roster and just started pounding the puck in the net. And early last year, it wasn't happening for him, but certainly he turned that around quickly this season.
Boy, the Whalers just knocking the puck away and kicking it down, and 59 seconds ago on the Saints power play, but stolen away, and the shot hits off the side of the net by Paul Blake. But the one thing I still remember was because the Bruins were out of it, and as far as the winter session went, they put Mike Martin in net, and he might be the better goalie the way he played that night. And as the last game of the season, it was the funniest thing is Martin was having fun, and Jim Stone went up front, and he played forward, and he had a blast.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that was a really good, fun game to do, fun game to watch.
Yeah, it turned out we were like, oh, God, this is going to be terrible because playoffs were all set, and all of a sudden those two put on a show and made the last game of the season so much fun. As far as the regular season went, as the Saints...
I think they actually gave Stoney a penalty shot, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think it was
in the shootout, yeah.
They went into a shootout, and they gave Stoney a shot in the penalty shot. That was great.
Callahan got the shot off there, and Danny Nason gloved it. 7 seconds to go on the too many men on the ice penalty on the Whalers as no score, 8 minutes to go, opening period to play with Bob Hayner and Mark Duchamp. But it's just, right now, it's just been quiet, though. This is Whaler pace. This is exactly what the Whalers have got to love. Played ho-hum. Played position.
Playing right into their game plan. Yeah.
Yep, perfect. Tufts. And this is the guy who is a terror to the Saints, Steve Kincannon. In the 7 games last year, he had 8 goals. And he didn't play the season before, the 2010-2011 season. He didn't play the first half of it. As Stratton grabs the shot from the blue line from Tufts and ties it up. And you would figure Jim McNeil or Jim Callahan would be the person that the Saints would have who had the best success against the Whalers. Well, McNeil had 5 goals. He's only the number 2 guy as far as the Saints go against the Whalers. Number 1 guy isn't on the ice at the time. We'll give you that in just a moment when he gets out there. It was mind-boggling as it's cleared down by the Whalers, and it's going to be icing on the play. When they switch lines, and he will be coming out, I believe. I'm just looking now to make it. Nope. Believe it or not, he is not coming out of this line.
I don't think he might not even be here tonight.
No, he was out there for one
He
shift,
wasn't warm-ups, okay.
And the person I was speaking about is Mike Ryan. Mike Ryan had 9 goals in the 7 games against the Whalers. That's unbelievable. Nason, it wasn't a hard shot. Nason's there to grab it because his team makes sure he might have to make 30 saves. But the fact is Danny Nason is not going to see a lot of difficult shots. His team defense in front of him does do a good job. Sharks had some stretches where they were dominating the Whalers as Toner brings it in. And then the Sharks just didn't push it away. Stratton kicks it away from the crease as Toner just centered it in front. Todd Roach goes to push it out. The hustling Jim Toner comes back for it. And looks. Diagonal feed knocked down by Roach. Cleared down by Roach. Mickey Faraki has Frank Elwood chasing the puck with him. Elwood got to it, sent it pass off the side of the net. Keys gets the breakout feed and goes cross ice. Toner Toner's logged a few miles already. This is his second shift, and he has really just skated a lot. As far as this goes, down the middle. Oh, Mackin just couldn't get the shot on. Kevin, the eyes just bugged out as far as that goes as the Saints ice the puck. The eyes were bugging out like, holy moly.
I don't know if that puck even actually ever got to Justin Stratton, but boy, he had the puck on his stick 15 feet in front of that net, and like you said, he was like, oh my God, here we go. And then all of a sudden, he just slipped off his tape, went up a couple guys' toes, and like I said, I don't think Justin even saved that puck.
He
didn't have to. It just kind of squirted to the side.
Oh, that was like the perfect play by Jimmy Toner. Paul Murphy tries to clear it out as Flagg knocks it down. Tough play for Paul Flagg. Knocked down the puck. He did the job. The only problem is it got caught in his equipment. As the Saints, Mike Purdy trying to come around and was knocked away from him. Now Paul Murphy picks it up at center ice, flicks it back in. Danny Nason calmly knocks it down. One person that really makes the Whalers go, I think, in defense is Billy McMahon, who's out there right now. As John Curry steals the puck, John Curry goes for the shot and gets knocked down the play. Billy McMahon, a little flick out for Kevin Mackin. Can he get to the puck? His line mate, Richard Swift, nearly got it. Now poked ahead, delayed offsides. Jeff Nelson will pick it up for the Saints. Whalers now clearing it out of the zone. Jeff Nelson with 5 minutes to go. First period, the Saints had a power play, got one shot on it. Mike Ryan just slams it ahead. One of the 4 Ryan brothers in the league. And Mike and his brother Charles on this team. Tim and Kevin up in the classics as McMahon carries it in. This is where McMahon really helps the Whalers. Carrying the puck like that, setting up this whole chance, and Concannon just flicked it over the net. McGuire tried to feed it in front, trying to hit Concannon going to the net, and the pass was behind him. Kept in. Neil Gold. Concannon backhands it down towards the goal, and White picks it up. As Mike White for the Saints, for Jimmy McNeil. Jimmy McNeil at center ice. As he flicks it in, Callahan tries to run down the puck. Gold grabs it first, sends it around the boards. White keeps it in at the blue line, fires it wide of the net. Callahan in the right wing corner. Callahan finds McNeil, and oh, Nason got a toe save. If that. I don't know if Nason got a toe on that or it just went off wide. But a great setup. Callahan. McGuire now shovels it ahead. Concannon. Steve Concannon looking for Skip Tufts. James McNeil came back with Mike White, and the two just double team and take the puck away and head up the ice. As it's carried in by McNeil, Callahan near side boards, fires it across. Nason the save! And Danny gets some help from his defense in clearing it away at the last moment. Steve Concannon might have just got the puck out at the last moment. Still scoreless, 3:10 to go, and the Saints picking up a little, but this has been a grinder in what the Whalers like to do. Charles Ryan flips it in. Danny Nason makes the save. Bob, as far as his shots on goal sheet, it's starting to tilt rapidly.
Yeah, actually the last couple of shifts, it's been all Saints. And like you said, as we spoke about earlier, Danny so far has been up to the task.
It's typical Danny Nason. Todd Roach. That final last year, 46 saves. It was a 5-1 win. You don't think that Danny Nason won the MVP? Gee, I don't know. That was about the easiest decision we ever had to make. And we were watching the game because we did the Red Wings final, that particular session, and Red Wings and the Rangers. All I can remember was, what else could Danny Nason?
I remember that game early, and that could have been. They could have been down 4-0 in the first 9 minutes of that hockey game if Danny wasn't doing what he was doing early in that game.
Yeah, even the Whalers were laughing about it as it's flipped into the seats. Even the Whalers were kind of laughing about it when you saw them walking out of the rink. They were like, yeah, we played okay. Yeah, we just got outshot by 3-1.
That was the Rope-A-Dope Trophy.
Yeah, and they know it, too. I always remember it was one of the games we did of the week, a game of the week, and I believe it was against the Saints last fall. It might have been the 4-3 shootout win for the Whalers. And I remember going in, was talking a couple of Whalers after the game, and we mentioned the shots at goal with 34-10 or something.
Yeah,
it was something caught off. Yeah,
I think they had 3 shots in the first 2 periods.
They
total.
Did. Yeah. And they looked at us, and I think Bob Prosocco said it best. He says, "That's the way to outplay them, guys."
But I think 2 of them were goals. They had 3 shots, and they had scored 2 of the 3 shots, and the percentages were off the chart. But they were getting hammered. They were just getting hammered. The scoreboard didn't reflect it at all.
I always remember it. But in Bob Prosocco's great line, "That way, guys. We outplayed them, getting outshot 34-12." I always remember that. It was one of, and everybody was like, "Yeah, well, we played." And Danny Nason's just calmly sitting in the corner smiling. It's cleared out by Jeff Nelson. Danny's claim to fame, by the way. He has something that was very unique. When the Legends division began, Danny Nason was a big-time story because the league offered as it's rolling in Justin Stratton will grab it and tie it up. We can fill in with these stories because it's been a typical Whalers game. But Danny Nason brought the most family members, which was if you bring the most people into the game, you would get a break on your tuition to play in the session. Danny Nason won it. In fact, there's another Whaler who's got another interesting part as far as this goes as Nason grabs and ties it up. Thank you, Danny. You're right on cue.
Come on now, Mark. He was down the mall, offered people $10 a head, just drove them all down here. He rented a school bus. Come on,
Yeah, well, it's funny. They all looked like him, didn't they? All these family members.
He just pulled Swifty's bus into the end of the mall and just grabbed people. They thought they were getting a ride to another store. They ended up with a hockey rink. He got tuition and a couple pizzas out of it, I think.
Hey, Rick, what about the other Whaler? I'll bring it up after this one. Swift brings it in, passes it into the middle, trying to get McMahon as it's knocked away from 50 seconds to go in a scoreless first period. Purdy knocks it out. One of the other Whalers has a unique situation as far as the Legends go, right? You know about that. You were part of it.
Silent.
Now he's silent. Neil Gold, Rick, got the first goal in the Legends game against Rick Kelly.
That's why he's silent.
I think
that's why he's silent.
I think he shut his earphones off.
We'll be in trouble after that. Right? 10 seconds left in the period, flipped in on Justin Stratton. So the Whalers, who, by the way, have tied with the Crusaders for the most championships in the Legends division with 3, will be scoreless with the Saints, who have 1 title in their career after 1 period of play. Saints and Whalers, no score. Rick Kelly downstairs. Our camera crew of Justin Mattinson, DJ Mattinson, Corey McGregor, bring you all the action. I just got to ask Rick one other question. In the goaltenders union, I just saw it. Nason and Stratton went down and exchanged ends, and they both high-fived each other. I think, what is this, the goaltenders' way of life? All nice to each other? I think they should be fined. I mean, in Major League Baseball, fraternizing is what, $150 fine or something? As McNeil trying to split the defense. McNeil gets a break. McNeil to the circle and got pushed wide by Neil Gold. McNeil takes it deep, flips it. Cal has attempted pass for Mike White, broken up. Steve Kincannon trying to clear it out, and Bill Angrill just forced him to go straight with it. McNeil's shot gets deflected wide. Callahan goes for the shot, blocked. McNeil's shot, nice pad save. Nason got a piece of it going by, but he had the corner covered. As it's now picked up, Callahan measures shot. Nason had a clean look at that one. It's right in front of us. Danny Nason, you could see he had a clean look at it, and he was able to glove it out of there.
Yeah, Danny actually reached across his body with his glove hand to pick that puck up off his right shoulder. That's how long of a look he had at that puck mark. It wasn't a reflex save at all. He knew exactly where the puck was coming and didn't want it off his blocker with a rebound. He just wanted to glove that thing and get a face-off.
Morrison on the breakout. As Chuck Morrison in the scoreless tie, trying to find the seam to get in the offensive zone. Shot, pad, save. Justin Stratton. Rebound, Keys. And it got blocked in front. Picked up as it's flipped to Morrison in the slot. Nice save made by Justin Stratton. All of a sudden, the Whalers picking up with this line of Keys, Morrison, and Toner trying to create something. Toner trying to pass it to the middle, chipped away as it's grabbed, as now it's Toner. Looks for the shot, blocked and behind the net. As a good defense by the Saints, Eddie Norton. Eddie Norton is one of the steadier defensemen. Perfect for the Saints team. He just gets the job done in the back line. Elwood trying to beat Veraki. And Veraki is a similar type of defenseman on the other side. As Veraki gets it to Morrison. Morrison has pass knocked down. Norton picks it up, flips it in. Danny Nason, ho-hum, makes another save. As it's grabbed by Rob Dennis, and Dennis clears it across center ice. Billy Spillane picks it up. The man who should be given a GPS system as far as the South Coastal Hockey League goes. And Bob Hayner said it in the last broadcast. Veraki tries to clear it out with Rob Dennis. Where's Tewksbury? Tewksbury.
Yeah.
Billy Spillane makes the trek from Tewksbury to the Hobbymark Arena every Sunday. I wonder how many of the state cops he knows on the ride up and back. Flip to the cross ice. Richard Swift picks it up. Swift slides it through. You know what? Maybe you could borrow Swifty's bus. Let me see.
Until he gets that fuel bill.
Oh. You think Swifty, is now should be the team driver for the Whalers as Lang picks it up off the boards? I mean, he's got the bus. He can bring how many? 10 to the game?
He could probably bring both teams to the game.
Yeah, I mean, Mackin. Yeah, but the Whalers have team meetings after the game. It's just getting them home would be the problem. Flag goes for the shot, has it blocked. Cleared out past John Curry. 8:34 scoreless, second period. McMahon just hears somebody clamor for the puck. That was John McGuire, and the pass was not even close. Callahan looks across. Callahan giving it to Johnny Graham. Graham just cycles it down low for Billy McMahon to pick up for the Whalers to skip Tufts. Tufts looking. John McGuire must be skating 90 miles an hour up the ice because the last two passes to him haven't even been close. McMahon. Pass to the middle. Graham flips it back. McMahon now stolen McNeil. Jimmy McNeil. Jimmy McNeil looking across at Billy McMahon was just waiting for it. To McGuire, tip. Concannon just couldn't get it up there.
Boy, he knew exactly what was going on, too. He had a great opportunity to backhand that pass, and he got a full head of steam. Probably a breakaway right there if he could have controlled that puck a little better.
John McGuire flicks it in to the Saints zone. Callahan knocks it back out. Graham trying to come up the ice, tied up by Concannon. You got to love Steve Concannon. Boy, he just plays so well out there. He just was a pesky player. It's always that way with the Red Wings, and look at this hustle right here. He just created the opportunity. That was just Steve Concannon at his best. Billy McMahon rifled it off the boards, and Steve Concannon says, thank you. He just out-hustled the Saints.
Not only that, Mark, his finish was great, too. He just dipped the shoulder, made Justin Stratton think he was going to shoot the puck, hesitate a little, put it right over his shoulder. Beautiful shot.
Oh, what a shot. Now, Skip Tufts, they'll say, was the one who made the pass. Didn't matter who. That was just one heck of a pass. Got a new score to give you. In the other Rink Classics division, Canadians beat the defending champion Red Wings in a shootout 4-3. And they win the shootout 1-0. I guess Canadians, it's not the Leafs. So the Canadians will get into the win column after opening night being buried. And the Red Wings.
Shellacking.
Yes. And the Red Wings, who hammered the Rangers, they get upset Rangers, by the way, in the West Coast game with the Blackhawks. I mean, that's going to be an interesting one. Chuck Morrison trying to come back, steal the puck. Justin Stratton falls on it and ties it up. Steve Konchanen's goal has got the Whalers on top 1-0, even though they are being outshot as usual. I wish we had the shots and goals from the other games with the Whalers. I'd be curious to see. It was like, remember how they were saying this week with the Baltimore Orioles being in first place, battling for first with the Yankees, and they've been outscored by 50 runs as far as the season goes? This is what the Whalers are. They've been outshot probably about 3-1.
Yeah, they're minimum 2-1 typically almost every game they play.
You know, it's icing on the Saints if it makes it. Yes, it will. No, it didn't. They waved it on.
They waved it off, yeah. I
was watching Billy Hinchy's hand. It was up there for the call, and they waved it on. That's still amazing. Every game we do the Whalers, I can't remember the last time they outshot a team in a game we brought you. Boy, we'd have to go back on the web. We'd have to be sitting there and just punch him up on YouTube as, oh, what a great chance for Mickey Verrocki, and he fired it wide. They must have, of the 12 teams, offsides on the play. As Mike Ryan, a little too anxious. John Curry didn't get the pass quick enough to him. But can you imagine if we ever found that out? I mean, look back at all the YouTube stats and just look at the tape and see, geez, final shots on goal for that one.
It would definitely be an eye opener, and there's probably nobody even close. You know, a close second for.
The point is that I'm trying to bring up indirectly. They got to probably have, as far as the games of the week go, they might have, as games of the week go, maybe the best shooting percentage of any team.
Certainly in recent memory.
Yeah, I can't remember them out shooting a team. You know, we're doing, oh, what a feed in front, and couldn't be redirected home by Swift as Flagg tried to get it to Swift. Mickey Verrocki steals it. Verrocki shot, block. One person was a scratch tonight, Bob Frisoko, and another one, Mike Rober, for the Whalers. Yeah, the Whalers up 1-0. Steve Concannon, who is the assassin on this team. He's got 2 of their 3 goals in this early season.
The crowd downstairs is going on and on about Justin Stratton, the first person to get the red light, now that we have lights.
So you mean Justin Stratton might be the first one that might be coming out of the tanning booth?
Well, only one so far. We'll see.
By the way, Rick, want to know, the the 2 goalies shook hands going across ice between periods. Is that a fine in the goaltenders union?
No, it's not. You have to do that.
Oh, okay.
It's a requirement.
You guys are politically correct, huh? Callahan on the spin move tries to feed it in front. I thought, as I said, Major League Baseball, isn't it a fine for fraternizing? Tufts. Oh, what a break on the second opportunity. Tufts blocked the first one. Second one, Johnny Graham snuck it through the crowd.
Talk about getting through a sea of legs right there, Mark. I don't think Danny Nason saw that. He saw the shot start, but I don't think he definitely didn't see the puck till it was behind him.
Looked like a big crowd in front of him.
That puck it skirted an awful lot of sticks and skates to get in that net.
That might have been the amount of people Danny Nason had there when he came down and won that night.
24 from 17.
Graham from Callahan. He said 24, but it was Graham who fired the shot. Paul Murphy was not on the ice.
So it's 20 from 17?
Yeah. Graham shot it.
Changes that to 20 from 17. 20, 17.
McGuire almost sneaking through the pack.
Actually, 24-17.
Paul was out of the ice.
We're having an argument.
2-4.
We're having an argument.
He's just telling them what the refs told him.
They're doing what the refs told him.
Right.
Graham fired the shot. All I know, we were watching it. John Graham fired the shot. I said
and give a Shock the second assist.
Yeah, Shock got a second. Yeah. I think a couple of Whalers could have gotten an assist on that one. McNeil brings it back in a 1-1 tie. No matter what, it's 1-1. When we get the instant replay down pat, we will have that officially.
Rick just has to give us the money average ashtray for the instant replay. 21 grand for
Out of his piggy bank?
out of the car ashtray.
Out of the car. Out of the Batmobile? Fired wide of the net by McNeil. Picked up corner. Todd Roach tries to flick it in front. Goes off Steve Kincannon. Oh, what a feed. Jimmy Callahan robbed by Danny Nason. Who was that masked man who came out and just knocked down that shot? Jimmy Callahan's asking. Because that was Jimmy Callahan had the corner measured. And how he didn't get it, Danny Nason will tell you, he hit it all the way. Kincannon trying to knock it through the defense. Tufts grabs a tough setup. Steve Kincannon fires it across with 1:45 to go in the middle period. Just like the first period, all of a sudden, the last half of the period, Saints pick it back up again. The reason is the Whalers are dragging in this shift. Elwood fires it off the back of the net. Whalers were like 2 days getting back on defense. Mark Lank was by himself looking for help. Billy McMahon helped him out. This Charles Ryan just camped right in front, and the Whalers are lucky because Charles Ryan was standing there by himself. Morrison with Keys, 2-on-1. Morrison goes for the shot, has it blocked, gets it through the pack, and hits Keys' skate as it was heading for Justin Stratton. Jacobson steals it. Oh, he fed Morrison, and Morrison just couldn't get enough of the stick on it. If he did get a little more stick on it, Justin Stratton had no chance.
Yeah, I don't think Morrison even saw that. He just picked that puck right at the last instant and just tried to direct it on net. Got just, like you said, Mark, not enough of the piece of that puck, because that puck was certainly by. Didn't matter who was playing goal at that point in time. That puck was in any net if that was just directed.
Keys can't get the Toner feed off the faceoff. Gold will pick it up at center ice. John Curry grabs it. Jacobson steals it. Flips it back in as Lankrill knocked down on the pass out of the zone by the Whalers, and they couldn't keep it in. As they come back, Mike White fires at Danny Nason. Boy, Danny Nason seeing the puck well. When the Whalers hustle back, they're fine. Danny Nason's getting no problems, but Danny Nason in the last few minutes had to get challenged, and Mike Ryan trying to challenge him there. Saints getting the goal on a little flip towards the net as Graham just fired it through the pack. Toner going through. Toner getting in, and Toner got hooked on the play going to the net. Stratton made the save. Hooking coming up on the Saints power play that goes into the third period for the Whalers with 0.9 seconds to go here in the middle period. No question about that one.
Devin Blue for the hook. Devin Blue for the hook.
Hooking call.
Billy Langrell.
Yep. Flag. I'm surprised Danny Nason is not being pulled.
Yeah, 0.9 seconds left. They just put an extra guy in the net.
Flag and Callahan. And Jimmy Callahan just chops it away. We'll head to the third period as Steve Kincannon for the Whalers. John Graham answers for the Saints. We're tied at 1 after 2 periods of play in the South Coastal Hockey League Game of the Week. There were a couple of Saints just laying around in front of the net, and they just couldn't connect on the passes. Bob Hayner.
And now they start this third period, a man down as a result of that last play in the end of that second period. So they're playing a minute and a half down immediately off the bat here.
And see what the Whalers can do if they can ever get control of the puck. And Jimmy McNeil and Jim Callahan are just made the first 20 seconds of this power play look horrible for the Whalers. As Flag trying to get it around Spillane. Spillane knocks it away. Callahan has 57 seconds left. Rob Dennis puck just beat him up. Poor Rob. As it's now Jimmy McNeil. First 45 seconds of this power play, it has been skating practice. McNeil almost knocked it in on a great rush to the net. Callahan and McNeil are just skating around the Whalers, who finally try to get in the offensive zone. It took them a minute on this power play to get into the offensive zone.
Well, when do you ever see Jimmy McNeil's legs not moving when he's out there? He's just constantly a man in motion. When he puts on that, he's got a second gear that he puts a lot of gets a lot of defensemen to sleep, and all of a sudden just turns on that second gear, and he's by him just like he did there. He's behind that face-off thought. You think he's going behind the net, and he just took 2 quick steps and cuts right in front of Danny Nason. And luckily again for the Whalers, Nason made a good save right there.
As we're all even up, Paul Murphy grabs it, fires it down. As now Mickey Faraki picks it up. Mickey Faraki off the boards for Skip Tufts. Tufts just flipped it. Todd Roach grabbed it and just knocked it back into the Whalers zone. Maybe the Whalers should have declined the power play. I mean, they had everything going when it's 5-on-5. I mean, it was Jimmy McNeil had the best chance as it's flipped in front. Roach grabs it, blocked in front by Faraki. 9:50 to go in regulation. We're tied at 1. Whalers and the Saints. South Coast game of the week. Skip Tufts, who set up the goal for the Whalers, flips it in. Justin Stratton says, "See, I got the puck." So he hangs on to the shot. It was heading wide, but Justin Stratton not taking a chance. Steve Concannon scored on a breakaway for the Whalers. Johnny Graham just grabbed a puck just inside the blue line, fired through about 30,000 sets of legs, it seemed like, in front of Danny Nason. And tied the game at 1. Whalers moving the puck. Lanko! He fired it and went off a Saint player in front, Billy Langrell. Charles Ryan looks for Todd Roach to go up the far side. As he connects with him off the boards with a pass, Lank just chips it away from him. And sent across by Roach, but Tufts will pick up the loose puck. Oh, pretty play by Roach to take the puck away from Lank. He just lifted the stick, then Lank blocked the attempted shot. Concannon sends it around for John McGuire. John McGuire just backhands it out of the zone. 9:05 to go in regulation. Langrell off the boards. Billy McMahon for Skip Tufts. Tufts tries to get it through to Concannon as it goes a little too far in the pass line. Grill tries to give it up. John Curry battles along the boards of Keys. Curry wins the battle. Curry sends it out, just out of the zone, as it is grabbed by the Whalers as they had to wait, as Chuck Morrison had to wait for everybody to clear out. Mike White. 8:35 left. White knocked down by Morrison. Morrison, a pretty good forechecking effort right here. Morrison, boy, did he just help from Jimmy Toner, and Toner tried to get it to Keys, and Mike Purdy was right there to make sure the pass didn't get through, but it was cut off by Mike Ryan. Billy McMahon, oh boy, we got a whale up.
I think he might have both of them going. Maybe not, but he should have had both of them. I think he got Morrison for the extra chop at the end of that scuffle between him and Mike White along the boards.
Roughing on Chuck Morrison. 8:16 left in regulation. Power play coming up for the Saints. 0 for 1 on the power play, and they did not get a shot on that power play. Now, winners tonight in the Classics division, Bruins and Canadiens. Winning is, Danny Nason just took a one away from John Curry. Curry got a good backhand shot off the faceoff. Lang clears it out. Winners in the Legends division. Sharks over the Toros 4-2. 3-2 Stinger win over the Crusaders in a shootout. Now there's your scoreboard. Canadiens winning in a shootout 4-3. But the story tonight, as far as everything goes, Classics division, the dynamic duo was back. John Zimmer and Mike Martin. It's like they never left. John Zimmer, 4 goals and an assist. Mike Martin, 2 goals and 2 assists. 7-3, Bruins beat the Leafs. Leafs have scored 9 in game 1, let up a 9-4 win. Now they've let up 7 in the first 2 games. And something I got to ask Rick, as far as everything goes, when we get a break. Kevin Mackin brings it down. As Mackin just killing away the final seconds, which is 27 left on the power play. Graham now picks it up for the Saints. Try to get something going on the power play. Now, as far as this one goes, power plays have been ugly. Penalty killing has just been quite pretty as far as this one goes. Mackin jamming with Callahan. As the puck now freed up, Mackin squeezes it out of the zone. We're all even up with 6:45 left. Callahan in the middle, it's McNeil. Fires it, and he had Danny Nason handcuffed. He just couldn't get a little lift on that, as it's going to be icing on the play. He gets lift on that, McNeil scores.
Yeah, and Danny knew it, too. It's just that he stuck his leg out just as far as he could. He couldn't have gotten any further. There was still a foot between his toe and the post.
The thing I was going to ask Rick Kelly, Andy Pelly has given up 11 goals in 2 games. The pad situation, you're going to get a call tomorrow, Rick?
Probably already gotten one.
Yeah, I know. We had this comment about Andy was going crazy about the new pads he was wearing. Jimmy Callahan fires it, knocked down Danny Nason, and he just again comes up big on the John Graham rebound. Oh, did he come up big? Graham, from his backside, nearly tucked it home.
Johnny Graham's been around that net all night long, making Danny's life miserable.
We mentioned Andy Pelly pads, by the way. The reason was he got new pads this year, something he hasn't had in a while. McNeil goes for the shot, has it blocked in front. And Andy was like having a rough time with the pads in the first game, and we were wondering if he was going to call Rick up to get his old pads back. Hadn't changed pads in a long time, and he's been hit for 11 goals in 2 games. As Danny Nason gets off Mike Faracki's stick, off the Callahan shot, and somehow it's just becoming ho-hum. Another night at the yard. Yeah, another night at the yard for Danny Nason. No, just make another good
say,
save.
guys, there's only 5 minutes left. You got to get that second goal we need.
Yeah, I don't want to shoot out. Yeah. We had a shootout the first game. It's just like Danny, ho-hum, let's go. Whalers have 3 goals, and talking about contrast. Tufts leaves it off. McGuire measures, shoots wide. Kincannon tries to grab the rebound. Kincannon fires it wide. Now, the Whalers in Game 1 had 2 goals in 30-plus seconds and tying that game with the Sharks. They have 1 goal tonight on a breakaway. Whalers have been a little bit offensively challenged here in the earlier part of the fall of this 2012 season. But the guy just saw the shot go over his head. Danny Nason has been the story. Tufts for Kincannon. Steve Kincannon. He just does the job, gets it ahead for John McGuire. The Whaler captain picks it up, tried to center it around Paul Murphy. Oh, we get it on the second chance, and Kincannon just couldn't control it cleanly. Nice feed. McMahon pitched in, and Murphy is going to be trying to go off to the races. Lank has got a chance to cut him off. Lank plays free safety and allowed McMahon to get into the middle of the play. Todd Roach from the circle. Shot, hit the post, but it really hit the side of the post. As the breakout feed off Rich Keys. 4:27 left in a 1-1 tie. Typical Whaler hockey in the South Coastal Hockey League. Paul Murphy flips it. But the real New England Whalers, when it was the WHA, is just chipped ahead as a loose on the attempt to give and go. John Curry tried to slide it through and couldn't get it to Mike Purdy. Purdy had the right idea on the attempt to give and go, and Curry just couldn't slide it through. I can always remember that the original Hartford New England Whalers they scored a lot more per game than this group. But this group just does the job. Oh, Morrison robbed by Justin Stratton. Oh, as soon as I said it, Whalers haven't done anything. Oh, Chuck Morrison, great backhand shot. Justin Stratton looked down his glove like, whew. Nason grabs it, ties it. I was looking at, as soon as the save made, they're going up the ice. Justin just looked down at his glove like, nice job. Nice job.
The Bloom right now is the save of the night, I'll tell you.
That was, because Chuck Morrison,
that was labeled.
That was loose change, and Chuck Morrison said, okay, here it goes. What heck of a save. Let's see, Callahan robbed by Nason, and then Morrison robbed by Stratton. So each team has had a situation where the goalies have come up incredibly big. McNeil into the corner. McNeil has been a pain tonight. Whalers able to get it out. Boy, McNeil has just been all over.
Yeah, he's been everywhere tonight.
I mean, when the Saints beat the Whalers, and the lowest scoring game, I'm looking back in the last 2 years, where the Saints have beat the Whalers was a 3-2 game. And that was last fall. When the Saints beat the Whalers, they get at least 5 goals in a game. As I said, this is perfect. Oh, offsides in the play, and I'll tell you, Kevin Mackin had a beef.
I think he did too. He certainly looked onside from here.
I'm looking at all these scores, and like 2010, 2011, Whalers winning the fall season series 3-2, 3-2, 4-2. Whalers 4-3 last year, 5-4. That's how the Whalers win. 5-1, 4-1. They just lull the Saints, who have got one of the more explosive offenses in the Legends division. Don't forget, the Saints got 6 goals in the first game and look unstoppable. This one tonight, the Whalers have lulled them a little to sleep. Charles Ryan and company trying to change that. The feed, Roach, shot, blocked. Nason somehow got a piece of the front Roach shot. And Frank Elwood couldn't knock in the rebound, and Jeff Nelson got run over by Paul Flagg. Flagg's like, who gives up what, 6 inches and about 20 pounds, looked at him and said, nah, I'm sorry. 1:52 left. Oh, Danny Nason just robbing Todd Roach. Billy McMahon trying to squeeze his way through the pack. John McGuire helps him out by picking up the loose puck. Centers it. Strack knocked it down. McGuire looks again, trying to get it in front. Roach gets it, and Roach smartly just clears it away because he wanted to get his team fresh legs out there on a line change. 1:27 left. Concannon tries to chip it ahead. Lane Grill gets to it, the puck first. As it, center ice, Purdy knocked away by Tufts. Loose puck as it's rolled down to the Saints end. As Jacobson does the job and getting it into the Saints zone. Langrell gets it out somehow. Purdy just fans him, picking up the pass. Curry off the boards. Purdy collects. Jacobson trying to chip it away. Get some help from Tufts. Skip Tufts looks around. Tries to squeeze it through the defense and couldn't. Tufts tries to get it to Concannon. By him. 48 seconds to go. 1-1 game. And the old question, do we have a shootout brewing? Keys. Concannon snaps it off, and Stratton head the corner covered and ties it up. 35.6 seconds left. Are we going to get a timeout? You knew
somebody called it.
Yeah, you knew somebody was going to call it. You wanted a couple of reasons. You want to make sure everybody who's going to be out there on the right page, 1, and 2. Who's going to double shift? Here comes Jimmy McNeil. A little extra breather.
Thirty-five seconds face off down their defensive zone, right? They want the guys with the hands.
Going to be interesting too. Jimmy Callahan gets himself ready to go. Off-camera view, but you look at Justin Stratton. You know, the funniest thing is going to be Jimmy McNeil, Jimmy Callahan, are they going to be the first 2 shooters? And if we do have a shootout. Jack Morrison, who had a goal just taken away from Spillane, tries to clear it out. Kept in for Rocky. The veteran defenseman does a heck of a job, the toner. Toner flips it to the net, back and oh! Stratton got enough of it with his pad and rolled it into his glove. 18 seconds left. 1-1. Concannon scored for the Whalers to put them on top. And Graham put his team even with a shot through the maze. Jacobson has to go off his skate. Rocky goes after it. 12 seconds left. McNeil out hustles for Rocky. McNeil comes around in front.
Oh,
down, Johnny Graham with 5 seconds left. Tucks it home.
Jimmy McNeil started and ended that play. I'll tell you, he did a hell of a job. He just kept Mike Varacki. Varacki knew he was coming. Did all he could to just kind of slow him down, level off his pace, and McNeil comes up with a puck behind the net and dishes it out front to Johnny Graham. We mentioned earlier, Johnny's been hanging around that net all night long. That's 2 for Johnny tonight, and this one was all the efforts and the hard work of Jimmy McNeil to produce that goal. 5 seconds left in this hockey game.
And the Saints will be 2-0. Justin Stratton came up with some big saves in the final 6 minutes, but the hustle, as Bob said, of Jimmy McNeil. Welcome to the Schick Hydro postgame show here in the South Coastal Hockey League Game of the Week. And an exciting finish. We look like we're heading for overtime. Shootout, all set to go. Jimmy McNeil says, "No, I want to go home early." Hustled the Whaler defense, centered it in front. Johnny Graham finishes off the play with a goal with 5 seconds left. Gives the Saints a 2-1 win. Bob Hayner on
Doesn't
Mark
take
Jean.
long, Mark. 18 seconds on that clock when that face-off happened down in this zone, all the way down the other end of the ice. Saints took control of the puck. I don't know which defenseman it was. Just did a good job of clearing outside the zone.
Eddie
Went
Norton.
off a Whaler's stick, went the complete opposite direction to the far corner, other end of the rink, and there's a race between Jimmy McNeil and Mike Varacki. Like I said, Mike Varacki saw him coming, but I'll tell you, Jimmy McNeil's got a head of steam on him, and there's not a lot of ways you can slow him down. And Jimmy somehow got behind, got a little leverage on Varacki behind that net, ended up with the puck in his stick, came around and just threw a pass out front, and I think it may have actually went off Danny Nason and trickle in front for Johnny Graham. But Johnny Graham doing what he needs to do, crash the net, get in front of Nason, make something happen, and certainly the puck ends up in the stickers behind the net, and that's 5 seconds left, game over.
Each team got a goal in the same way in this one. Steve Concannon scored on a breakaway because he out-hustled the defense of the Saints to get a goal earlier. Johnny Graham tied it, shooting through the pack. And then Graham gets the game winner after the McNeil hustle. Eddie Norton also gets an assist. But we're going to name Jimmy McNeil the player of the game because he created a lot tonight. When the Saints needed some energy, he provided it.
Not only, and he did it all night long, and his legs were moving constantly. Every time he was on the puck, he makes guys think. He's so quick, so aggressive, so fast, and he makes the guys around him he makes the guys in his line mate, the guys in his team better when he's on the ice, and they certainly have to keep an eye on him. And certainly tonight, he certainly made the Whalers work for it, and paid off in the end.
Oh, he did, and Graham becomes the finisher, and well, the Saints got to feel good about this one because they got lulled to sleep. They were lulled, and be honest. And Rick has a person downstairs. As Rick, take it away.
Exciting. We're all getting ready for a shootout. Then John Graham here gets a goal with 5.3 seconds left to go. Can you tell us about it, how it all worked out for you?
Jimmy McNeil basically came down the ice, carried the puck, did a nice curl behind the net, gave me a perfect pass, and all I had to do was just put my stick on it. It was a great pass.
Any plans to the bench? They said rush the net. What was it the last we were talking about as you went out there?
Well, basically, you got to play good defense first. Anytime you're 2-1 with 5 seconds left in the game, that's a good defensive game, great goaltending, great defense, and play good defense, and hopefully you get a good breakout.
Especially against Dan Nason. He gets those pads down. He's really tough to score on.
Yes, he is, and he's got a wicked glove, too, so he stopped us a lot up high this game.
Low-scoring affair tonight. It's a lot of shots, but not a lot. And Jason saw a lot of rubber, too.
Yeah, just good goalkeeping, and, the defensemen didn't give any really good high-quality shots, and the goals, when they were, the goalies really stopped them well.
The Schick Hydro player of the game here tonight, John Graham, with a goal with 5.3 seconds left to go to give the Saints their victory. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back up to the booth.
Okay, Rick. Actually, we'll name them co. Johnny Graham and Jimmy McNeil. You got to name them co because McNeil creates and Graham finishes.
Yeah, Johnny, two goals tonight. How can he not? He's got to be certainly in the mix, and he certainly deserves the accolades that he received tonight.
Hey, they beat the world champions. Not bad.
Well, the Whalers have been a high-scoring team so far. 3 goals in 2 games. And Steve Kincannon, if Steve Kincannon wasn't around, it'd be 1 goal. He's got 2 of the 3.
John never been interviewed before. He was done. He said, "Where do I stand? Do I look at the camera?" Some of the guys, they usually pick the goaltenders all the time, but
you almost did.
Yeah, I know. I was ready to step out on the ice. I had the camera. I was ready to take the shots of the shootout. Boom. That's a pretty exciting end.
That was unbelievable. I mean, isn't it? The Saints right now 2-0, and quite conceivably the Saints could be the early season team to look out for because they've shown they can outscore you and they can outplay you on defense.
It's solid right across. We played the Toros tonight, and I don't understand why they haven't been carrying the cup around because what a solid team they are. They've got that one lane, the line of Ward, Brinkman, and it's something else. And we beat them 3-2, but every team seems to have that strength they can pull out.
Well, the funniest thing tonight, I was sitting there with Billy Sartell, and he told me, the Stingers win in a shootout coming in tonight. And John Curry's standing there. John Curry's there. He says, yeah, they beat 2 teams that didn't skate over the summer. And I looked at it, I said, John, what are you, jealous about this one? I mean, the Stingers quietly win 2 shootouts. They're 2-0. But tonight, I think the story is the Classics division. Zimmer and Martin, they're back. Zimmer, 4 goals and an assist. Martin, 2 goals, 2 assists, 7-3 Bruins. That tells me a lot right there. The Bruins could be scary as far as the Classics go because, the Leafs looked phenomenal opening night.
Well, I walked on the rink. I saw the score 7-3, and I saw who was on the ice. So Maple Leafs Bruins. I just immediately thought, without looking at the scoreboard, home and away shirts, the Maple Leafs were beating them 7-3. I just assumed that walking into this booth when I saw the score, and just to hear that the Bruins that are up there for 7 goals compared, like I said, struggled offensively most of last season and come out tonight and do what they did. And the 2 guys that they rely on came through tonight to start it off for them as well.
We're up 5-1 at the break. They were playing that good as far as everything goes. And the Canadiens, guess what? The Canadiens didn't have to play the Maple Leafs. So the Canadiens win. Canadiens win 4-3 in a shootout over the Red Wings. So both champions got beat tonight. Tells you a lot right there.
That's why we won it.
I'll tell you, so much for being a champion. It's short-lived.
I'd still rather. I'd like to be a champion. It's been a while, I wouldn't mind. We'll see.
Well, I was told by Artie you had a heck of a night tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I've been running the Toros all night saying thanks a lot. I had one of those dive across, put the paddle of the stick down on an open net type of thing. Ba-boom, and the guy said thanks a lot. It's, well, you just throw yourself out there and hope you hit it, right?
I asked Jay Parker, you scheduled for an appointment tomorrow to be an adjustment?
I'll be there.
Yeah. I was trying to set it up for you so you can get healthy again.
I'll be at the Y tomorrow morning at 5:30 in the jacuzzi. Don't worry.
Anxious. He just went flying to the puck. Oh, Michael Ireland, nice save. It's in at the back line. Rick Welch in net. Barnard comes in. Barnard, nice feed it for what a save by Holstein, but it rolled over his head and in. Taters answered. Michael Hanks and Dana Dolan, Bainey, or check that Tim Cruz.
Didn't miss by much either.
No, Harnish in front. Nice maneuver. Martin scores!